Hey guys, I'm Matt Rowntree, and this is the M47 Bushmaster. I built this for Simon's Ship Timber, so it was built in a month, and basically, apparently I have a mortgage to pay, so it was basically a month of weekends. So it came together in about 4 weekends, and then I built the base in a couple weeks after that. So I was going to take this out to Bricks LA and show it off there, where it proudly won Best Spaceship out there. So we had a good representation out there and had fun and really had a good time. So, but yeah, it's the M47 Bushmaster. I built it in Technic figure scale, which is a fantastic scale. I wish LEGO would bring these little guys back, because all the little minifigure tools fit perfectly with them as far as scale goes. But as far as this goes, a lot of the techniques were basically couldn't really do them a couple years ago, because there's a lot of mixel joints in there holding it all together. But very stable. It's definitely swooshable, so that's a priority. And basically designed it after the classic Vic Viper. So we've got both bases covered as being a full-fledged ship and a full-fledged Vic Viper.
Yeah, it's an impressive build. So if you can talk a little bit more about this Technic figure scale, because I think a lot of people probably aren't familiar with those figures and kind of what that theme was like. So maybe explain a little bit more the history of that.
Sure. Well, what I remember, because these are original purchases, I've been playing with this stuff for 40 years. So if I remember right, they came out in I want to say late 80s, maybe early 90s, and it was just as far as the Technic line, they were adding more, trying to get it kind of playable with action figures, and they made these guys with articulated joints, elbows that bends. I said that, but elbows that bend and actual knees. So figures with knees that bend, which is kind of a nice little addition to the people line of LEGO. But they only produced these for a couple years, which is a shame, because they were fantastic, totally emotionless faces. And other than that, they had some great Technic builds. They had a tractor puller and some snow cats and things like that. But other than that, they were pretty much eliminated after a couple years, which, like I said, is a shame.
Yeah, for sure. But they work really well for this build. So maybe talk about some of your favorite parts you used in the spaceship here, because it's really cool to see some of the pieces you were able to incorporate there.
Well, what we did is what I did was I used a lot of the mixel joints to get the forward prongs together. And the funny thing is it's actually built on a taper towards the front, and that taper engineered it to be stronger than I even remotely expected. But I can say I engineered it that way, and I'll sound like a genius, but
it was all planned, of course.
Of course, we do it. We plan this out ahead, and it works perfectly every time. So especially when we drop it. So, yeah, some of the techniques are kind of a pain in the butt, but they worked out fine. The rear engine there is held together with that chain, but a lot of the inside of it is, in fact, I can pull that off if you want to see. God bless gravity. But you can kind of see it's just those modified plates held together, and they can kind of go together with a stud. Of course, if you want to call it an illegal connection, I'll take the full blame for that. But the actual chain actually holds it all together in a round figure. Plus, you got checkerboard, so you can't go wrong with that. Right. So full-fledged racer there. But other than that, just sits perfectly, and gravity's on our side in that case. So. Yeah. But other techniques, we just have a basic, simple system working together. I love combining the system with the Technic. I think they work a whole lot better, and plus they look more industrial. I like that look. Plus with the old gray and the new gray on the base plate, it just looks like a side of a battleship, which I think we can all appreciate. Mm-hmm. So. But other techniques, there's really not anything special other than just trial and error and trying to get it together, and hope it makes the trip out from Arizona in one piece. So.
There you go, yeah. And then we'll definitely talk about this, kind of the base that it's on a little bit as well, because you've got almost as much detail in the base here, maybe even more than you have in the ship. So that's impressive as well. So talk about some of what you put in there.
As far as the team name and building it in Snot with some fun little font work, especially the 2 on the FV2 for Formula Vic Viper. That was kind of a fluke. It came together, and I'm going to try and develop that font a little more. It's so simple and beautiful that it just worked out nice. Same with the Team Malort. Of course, representing here in Chicago, we got to have the worst liqueur in the galaxy represented here. So, their tagline is tonight's the night you fight your dad. So you got to appreciate that. They know how bad it tastes, and they're happy about it. But a lot of the snot work is, and the stenciling and the emblem there, it actually holds together. But those took the emblem for the Malort bottle took a very long time to just get right. But Lego had the colors, especially that light blue, and it just seemed to fall in place, and it worked out beautifully. Of course, there's one spot where there is a little bit of electric tape behind it, just kind of because it did not like to drive out here. But a little cheating here and there is acceptable, isn't it? It's racing after all. So if you don't have a crew chief cheating, then you're doing it all wrong.
That's exactly right. Well, yeah, it's a beautiful layout here. So thanks so much for bringing it all the way out to Brickworld Chicago here. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys checking it out.